Hello and Ashe. I would like to speak today about books of magic. This is my second time trying to record this video, and the first time got deleted. Well, okay. So, first of all, let me make a disclaimer. I believe that books contain, if you're a very well read witch, books has only 40% of the knowledge that you need to know in order to be a good witch. And the rest of the knowledge comes from natures and teachers, because you are not the only one following this path, and one should learn from other people's experience. And in this modern age world, there is this thing where people very much like, to reinvent the wheel all the time. I have this sense, I have this power, and and this is mine. Well, this is not yours. This was given to you by, the gods or the goddesses and nature, and it will go with you when you die. Okay? And if you displease those powers will be taken away from you. But besides that, one needs a beginning point, and it's very difficult to find in such a wide, broad subject a specific beginning point. So I chose three, and those three are three books that you should read before contacting a teacher, because contacting a teacher is like after that magic is for you and which stream of magic is for you. Because I've known many people that started learning certain kinds of magic and ended up learning the wrong kinds of magic for them. Okay, so those are basically the books that I recommend for the beginning. And let me start with Modern Magic. Okay, now I know this is a book that is very much frowned upon in certain circles, but it does have its good side. First of all, you will see that those books had much love. They are old, they are tarnished, they have those area, no coffee mug stains. I don't drink coffee, but anyway, if you read this and you feel connected to his definitions, like his definition of black, gray, and white magic, and you feel that you like the RBRP, the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentacle here, then you should definitely go this. This book represents the tradition that specifically is keeping to the studies of the Golden Dawn and Thelema and what came after. Okay, and this book has myriad of subjects. It's encyclopedic inside of many subjects that even if not practiced, a witch should learn about. For instance, grimoire magic, and sex magic, and all sorts of good things that one should learn. At least know of, if not know them fully. About magical evocation and things like that. My most favorite part in this is the elemental walkings, because those are very thorough, and in the end there are tests to see if you got that energy or not. Okay, now most initiated tradition, you are expected to get the energy from your teacher, but here it tells you how to go and get the elemental energy for yourself and test yourself to see if you have it. And this is a very pedantic, almost Germanic style self-discipline thing that, by the way, very much prepared me for my army service later. It's a very funny story. I will tell it in another time. Well, anyway, that's the first one. And if you like this, you're in the branch of ceremonial magic, high magic, so-called, and all those things that are connected to it. The second book, which I love, and this is a real pearl, and again you see it's much loved, okay, is Basic Magic by Philip Cooper. And this book is difficult to get today, but you can get it used. And this book is about psychological magic, chaos magic, and planetary magic. It's a very interesting mishmash, one that could only be made, I believe, in postmodern world. And the writer of this book doesn't really believe in any deities or any beings that is outside of the psychic of the human self. which is a very interesting perspective, because he believes that the way that we practice magic is basically tapping into the common subconscious and make changes there. This book is a pearl. I think also everybody should read it, okay? It's like, when I started reading this, like every passage he said, I had to sit and meditate on it. It's like, it doesn't have any wasted words in it. And in it, he's also teaching you, again, relaxation rituals, sigil magic that came from Austin Osman Spare. Is like touching, hovering, almost, you know, the ritual magic that that modern magic has, but he doesn't, you know, precisely get there. And he gets into planetary magic, which I think is very important because, you know, modern witches, especially witches that were influenced by Wicca and by Cunninghamism and, you know, other modern writers are like four elements, you know. We separate the universe to male and female and then the 4 elements. And that's very nice and that's very useful up to a point in which you understand that nature has basic different powers, ashes or medicines that are not just about the elements. They have many other things. And the planets are one of them, and they're one of the most useful kinds of magic that we have, so we should practice it and learn them too. You know, when you're going fire for charisma, that fire, if you're not basically straining it, and no, your will is not enough. If you're not passing it through a sieve of the sun, that fire will not become the proper charisma you need. But this is all about these books. I recommend every witch, practiced, unpracticed, to read it. You know, it's a good, enriching book, whatever you are or whatever you do. And it's interesting to see the world as basically this empty space without spirits, even though, you know, me personally, I don't believe in it. So, you know, so it has its good sides, its sides, and it has its bad sides. Again, I would not deign to say that all those books are all good. And the last and least, you know, the one that would represent pagan witchcraft is Witchcraft, Theory and Practice by Lydia Angeles. Oh, by the way, if I've forgotten, you know, Modern Magic is by Donald Michael Kraig. Okay, Witchcraft, Theory and Practice, and Lydia Angeles. And Lydia Angeles is important because she shows you the craft in her nude state. She is not afraid to talk about the scourges, and she is not afraid to talk about, you know, hexing. She's not afraid about talking about illusionary magic in its practical use. She's not afraid to talk about the meat and bones of witchcraft. And for me, this is an excellent book. Again, she has this tendency to go to flowery language and, you know, poetry, and that you know, is a problem many times. But I would recommend this book basically to anybody that you know is interested in pagan witchcraft. So you see, we have those 3 streams. We have the ritual magic, we have the psychological magic that is like hovering over chaos magic, and we have pagan magic. Now, most witches are eclectic. Most likely you will find something to speak in you in all 3 of those books, okay? And then you can choose what to explore. But there are 2 subjects that those books do not encompass wholly, and I recommend that you would learn personally while you're learning this. First of all, learn some sort of art of divination. Take the tarot, take the runes, but take a complex one. Don't take just a pendulum that tells you yes, no, maybe. Okay, take a complex divination system to learn with this that is not necessarily scrying. Okay, because you need to know that the magic that you are practicing is the right kind for you. You need some sort of a rudimentary connection to the spirit world, and divination gives you that. So don't skip it. You know, modern magic is talking about this in a very rudimentary way, but it's not enough. Really, it's not enough. That's 1. 2, learn the history of your craft. You know, it's amazing how many witches today don't know the history of their craft. You know, some of them are in Hoodoo, some of them in Santeria, some of them in Wicca. You know, Wicca doesn't know its history. Wicca has a very complex history. The Golden Dawn has a very complex history. The choices of texts that were translated into rituals has a very long history. You need to learn your history. So after you learn your history and after you learn the divination tool, and you practice those books. If you found a specific brand of magic that interests you, pick that branch, go practice and be blessed. Goodbye and Ashe.